So, uddharet atmana, atmana atmanam, no atmanam avsadayet. Uddharet atmana atmanam. Seeker. Seeker. The meaning of the first verse is that the seeker, first line of this verse is that the seeker lifts himself by his own intellect. But if the intellect is pure, then only he can lift. Natmanam, no atmanam avsadayet. Seeker never degrades or depresses himself by his mind. Look at the verse. Great Master Krishna. Atma aiv hi atmanah bandhu, atma aiv ripu atmanah. What a great verse. I remember. So what we were talking about, Lara, uddharet atmana atmanam. The seeker lifts himself by his own intellect, means knowledge in the intellect. The seeker never degrades or depresses himself or herself by his mind, by indulgence, by going into the likes and dislikes. I hate you, I love you. Is that our business in life? Now I can say you all are seekers. So it is coming from Krishna in the Gita. Seeker lifts himself by his intellect. Intellect means the knowledge. And we all are human beings. We can easily get knowledge. The seeker never degrades and depresses himself or herself by his own mind. That mind is running after likes, dislikes, duality, conflict. It can happen here in your family, with a family member, with a stranger, with a student, with anyone. Not. So then the master concludes the mind or the intellect. Mind is the friend of the real self, and the mind is the greatest enemy. There is no other enemy in this world that we think of. We are our own enemy. We are our own friend. You have heard the gossip from me. Then mind says, I'm too busy. I just had an initial one session, private session. So she said, I was very busy. That is why I did not listen to your lesson. Don't listen. That's your problem. I will continue to speak. My job is that I will continue to inspire you. You see that? So now see, you are doing a private session, you are paying some money. So it's okay. I will continue to inspire you. That is my job. That is my profession, without any likes or dislikes. So when you keep that knowledge in the intellect, and that knowledge should be realized by doing karma in day to day life. Means the knowledge must transform into karma yoga. If it is not transforming, then we are not. Then you may say, oh, this beard guy is good, his talks are good. That's all. I know that guy. Nothing is going to happen. Unless The knowledge can be realized, should be realized, must be realized by putting that knowledge into action. You go to a place, the mind is pushing you. I hate this guy. Let the knowledge crush that dislike and hate. Let, yeah, you see, mind is the greatest enemy and mind is the greatest friend. That is the application. So, if the knowledge is not transformed into karma yoga, you listen to even the enlightened Buddha, nothing is going to happen in our life. We are here to bring about a change. Our goal is awakening, goal is permanent peace and happiness. Understand, this is what the Krishna is saying. I can lift myself only by my own intellect. There is nothing that can lift me. What is the most you can say? Oh, he has an inspiring talk. After that, the inspiration goes away because the knowledge is not present in the intellect. But why the knowledge is not present in the intellect? Because my mind degrades me. How my mind degrades me? By likes and dislikes, by hate and love, by being so busy in life. How long you have been busy and what did you get by being busy? Ask yourself. What did you get? Today you get $5,000. Maybe tomorrow you are more busy. You may get $6,000. And next day you are over busy, but you get only 1 penny. That is not under your control. Do you see that? Do you? If you realize that, it means we are a seeker. And the seeker, I told you, always succeeds. So that is the journey we are undertaking. And we are understanding these fourfold practices, which are basically there are 9 steps. First step, viveka, discernment. Discernment, knowledge, right knowledge, clarity. Once I have a clarity that this like and dislike is happening in the mind because I'm not thinking, I'm not moving into the right knowledge. There is a natural dispassion. What I have to do with the like and dislike? Say to the example, I say, Christina, I hate you. Now let me ask myself what it means to me, what it benefit will me. Nothing. Wrong notion. So when you practice discernment, the dispassion is natural. Leave everything. Leave all this stuff. What will happen? The mind that has been distracted, wandering mind, it will stop. Then comes our 6 treasures. The first, then Master says, in that state of dispassion, you practice for even 5 minutes, you are totally relaxed. But then we have to work on how the likes and dislike is working. Dhamma, sensory control, we discussed. Uparati, throw likes and dislikes. Titiksha, endurance. The 4 treasures we have done. And now comes the Shraddha. So something we did it for the Shraddha. So Shraddha. So we came to that point of discussion that this Shraddha or faith or belief is belief in the principles of Eastern wisdom and applying it in daily life, the teachings of these great masters, which is passed on by this crazy teacher. Simple. I'm only passing on that knowledge. I don't know anything. I'm very 100% clear. But then there is an element of blind faith. No way, no way the blind faith should rule my journey of meditation and yoga. Take an example. I see God in meditation. I told you a couple of times in New Jersey, she was wonderful, extremely intelligent. You see what happens and find out which of the nine practices was absent in him. So he said that I see God. I don't want to name that name of the God. I see God every day when I sit in meditation. And then I said, why you have come to me? What is the need? Communicate with the God. I have a lot of stress. I said, talk to your God to release your stress. Let the God release your stress. No, no, you don't understand. When I sit in meditation, that God appears before me and then I start talking. I never say you are hallucinated. So, like this, we have in different practices of meditation, we have hundreds of hallucinations. What are they? Wrong notion, delusion. We have to get rid of this. Without testing, with the knowledge and the teachings of these masters, never get carried away by these blind faith. It will destroy you. It will cause more stress. Today I see God, tomorrow I don't see. There is a problem. So, what is the goal? I realize my real self. It is always with me, it cannot be taken away. What I see, I may see today, I may not see tomorrow. And if I don't see, then my meditation fails. But meditation does not depend on anything that is separate from you. It is you that needs to be understood clearly. Blind faith. And that has gone into my head so deeply. Once I have been learning from my master. I learned from many masters, almost 100 teachers. So perhaps maybe Ashok might be aware, but so it's a real life story. I don't want to name that teacher who has almost 70 million followers in the world, in all countries of the world. He comes from India. Great master. So it happened that I invited him for a conference because I was working in a federal government. So everyone wants some kind of a recognition. So he came, and then after a month, he invited me. So I and my honeybee, we both went there. I'm talking about blind faith. Your intellect must be 100% clear about this knowledge. So he sent me the air ticket. I went there. It took about 2 hours flight to a destination. So one Britisher who was a great disciple of this master came to me and said, he started talking. So during the conversation, he said, do you see that this guru is a reincarnation of his own master? And he gave me a very good story. So for 3 days, he was always talking. I said, quite intelligent. And I asked him what previously you used to do. No, I was a scientist. So you can say intelligence level. Definitely. It must be much more than me, at least I could see. So on the fourth day, when I became totally bored of listening this story that my guru is a reincarnation of his own master. So the fourth day when he came, I said, don't talk. Now I'm going to talk to you. Do you know who I am? No, no. My guru said that you are very wise. You learned all these teachings under the feet of a master. So that's why he want to make you an head of Australia unit. You can think of 70 million followers. Ashok can get it. He also went, he asked me that, can I go? I said, go there. So that master allowed all my students there. I said, no, now you have to listen to me. So he said, okay. He said, you don't recognize me. I am also the reincarnation of the master of your guru. How it is possible? I said, how it is possible that your master is a reincarnation of his own master? Who told you? Do you have any testimony? Can you explain to me? No, he told me. I said, I'm telling you. But I told you a little less. Basically, I'm a reincarnation of Shiva. He got so upset. Blind belief. Ultimately, on the fourth day, he invited. Then he asked me. I told everyone. So he told me, can you go to Australia? I said, I'm ready. So you are sure what you teach, I can teach? Yes, he smiled. I said, but do you give me a freedom to teach what I know besides what you teach? So he has a bigger smile. I said, no, I'm not going there. Not interested. Understand that knowledge is supreme in Eastern wisdom. Knowledge of the real self, knowledge of the reality. So a seeker believes, trusts, knowledge of the Eastern wisdom, the teachings of the great masters, pending inquiry. Why pending inquiry? I have to realize the same state. Many of my students, he is a great teacher. You met him. Can you send me? I said, I just sent a letter and he accepted all my students because he was looking for 71 million followers. But this knowledge, this understanding I received from my master. He was always hammering the head. No, you have to understand this. Be 100% clear. Faith is neither submission nor surrender. You have to lose your identity created by the wrong notions so that you mind merges into the real self. That is what about the faith, my friend. Once you have that faith, and what I start from where I started, now see that Krishna, the master, says what the Krishna says. What he says, Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. Seeker. If you are a seeker, you all are seekers. A seeker lifts himself by his knowledge from the teachings of the masters. First line. He never, or the seeker never degrades. Christina, are you listening? Yes, she is wonderful. So, seeker never degrades and depresses himself or herself by the mind. 10 years ago, I had this stress and I recall this. What I'm doing? Am I a human being? Then the master says this mind is the greatest enemy, and the mind is the greatest friend. We have to make this mind greatest friend. If you don't make it, nothing is going to happen. Belief. It is the fifth treasure. You see that how the masters are teaching, they taught us discernment, clarity, dispassion, relaxation, sensory control, replacing the habit, and ultimately endurance. And then, when the intellect and the mind is so much pure, then he says, now you have to have a belief. You have already learned. You are already undergone a change. Your behavior has changed. Your attitude is changing by applying these principles. So, belief here is what? That is why we say Upanishads, one complete group of text. Second group of text is Gita. Third group of the text is Sutra. They are absolute knowledge. We should question our intellect how to understand this principle rather than refusing or rejecting this principle. Will you reject this principle by likes and dislikes? It's okay. It's a part of the life. It is possible to reject and accept knowledge from outside. Which watch is more precious? You can reject one, you can accept one. But we are talking of the real self. We are talking of the permanent peace and happiness. We are talking of our own existence. So, Eastern wisdom, knowledge must be followed with the belief. But inquiry continues. Why inquiry continues? You are doing the practice to reach to that state. That is what again Krishna says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The person, the seeker who has a tremendous faith, here he is saying tremendous faith in yourself. What is that? Yourself is the real self. Real self is permanent peace and happiness, pending inquiry and the practice. So, what maximum will happen? What maximum will happen? If there is no real self, if there is no permanent peace and happiness, still you are benefited. Look at it. Guruji used to say, still you are benefited. My master, my Guruji used to say, I'm not teaching you to become crazy, run after, continue with the likes and dislikes, manage your anxiety. I'm teaching you what is absolute knowledge. So, what maximum will happen? Even while listening, you feel good. Doing the practice, you may feel good. That is the belief. That is the belief. That belief should be there. And that belief, Master says, that belief, you are listening constantly, learning constantly, applying this knowledge into daily practice, will naturally build the faith. You go to your house every day, so there is already a belief that this is your house. Same repetition. Understand the same repetition. One day you did not react to your honey, you will feel so happy inside. I can tell you. And then you repeat it again. You are finding an opportunity to remain, to respond, not to react, applying the principles of inner treasures. Oh, you will see, oh, my intellect is totally free, my mind is totally free. But before that, I was thinking about honey with the likes and dislikes, reaction, anxiety, duality, and conflict. How should I do? Why should I do? Where should I do? Drop all this. That is the power of faith. The fifth treasure. So Master, last point, Master says, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan, Samadhi. Last time we talked about the first word of the first chapter, the first sutra of Patanjali. Ath means that now I am a seeker, which includes all these steps because they are written in zip files. How Patanjali is going to explain all that? So the master says, my master used it, Shravanam, Shravanam. You are listening, listening and learning. Three elements, conscious element. Seeker is there, knowledge is there, the teacher is there. Now, teacher is physically absent. Knowledge is there and the seeker is there. That is contemplation. After listening, let me start thinking in the way masters are thinking. That is what masters are pleading. You will say 90% of our great masters are anonymous. We can make out an inference based on their writing. Oh, this master might have written. Upanishads, maximum majority of the authors are, they did not care to write there because it's a revealed knowledge. So how the revelation will take if I put the intellect in front to gain the right knowledge, that is what the contemplation. Contemplation and reflection to remove the doubt. We have a clarity. And once we have a clarity, intellect will naturally inspire you. The way the intellect, I'm linking it to something you may say worse, but that will prove my point. The intellect always inspires you when to go to the restroom when you have an urge. You leave everything, don't you? Same intellect will inspire you even if you are fully busy. No, I have to do it. I am stressed. It is a wrong notion. Let me start contemplation. Oh, I have already a practice. Let me do it. The next moment you are changed. Next moment, the level, the intensity of your stress and suffering will drop. That is the power of faith. It is not a faith, I believe you, Stephen. And then I say, I like you, Stephen, I dislike you. No, that doesn't work. Here, belief in the real self. Where it is, here inside me. Knowledge passed on by the Eastern wisdom. Check it. And if you have that belief, I would say millions of wrong notions created by the mind moves in impulsive, instinctive nature will drop by itself. Power of dispassion. Ashok was saying, now I have started understanding what you mean to say. It comes. That's another topic. So keep that faith in yourself. So let us start our practice now.